15 snakes that picked the wrong opponent. Have you ever seen a snake face an animal that seemed defenseless, but completely turned the tables? Get ready, because in this list you'll discover some jaw-dropping encounters, from a bird that outplayed a serpent to a mammal that proved size isn't everything, and even giant reptiles that found themselves facing unexpected rivals. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's get started. Number 15, snake versus hippopotamus. On one side, the snake, sinuous, stealthy, a master of patience. This reptile doesn't win by size, but by venom, constriction, or cunning. The most feared species, such as the reticulated python or the anaconda, use powerful muscles, coiling with such force that they crush bones and stop breathing. Venomous ones, like the cobra or the viper, carry in each fang drops of lethal chemistry, enough to bring down a bull in minutes. Its flexible body allows for quick, surprising moves, and its camouflage makes the snake a mystery. It's there, but you only notice when it's already too late. In the world of ambushes, it reigns, silent, patient, deadly. Now, on the other side, the hippopotamus, a true colossus of the savannah. Over 3 tons of muscle and armored bone, with skin so thick it feels like reinforced rubber, and a jaw that opens 150 degrees, revealing teeth up to half a meter long. This animal doesn't rely on venom or subtlety. It's pure brute force. Capable of running nearly 40 km/h on land, it smashes anything in its way. In the water, its true domain, it becomes even deadlier, moving through rivers as if they were part of its body. Few dare challenge the hippo. Even crocodiles prefer to keep their distance because they know one single blow can mean death. Comparison: the snake has precision and venom as its advantages. It could aim for vulnerable spots like the eyes or the mouth, but the hippo is a biological tank with immense endurance. A bite might irritate, but it would hardly stop an animal that withstands wounds and keeps charging forward. If it comes down to pure strength, there's no debate. The hippo would crush the reptile in seconds. Even the largest snake would struggle to wrap around such a massive, wide body. And here's the answer. In this duel of cunning versus brute force, the hippopotamus is the stronger. Not only would it survive the attack, but it would retaliate with crushing power. The snake, though feared, would stand no chance against this living fortress. But now I ask you, curious viewer, if you were faced with a snake hidden in the grass and, at the same time, a furious hippo charging your way, which one would you fear more? Think carefully, because picking the wrong one could be your last decision. Number 14, snake versus rhinoceros. Imagine the contrast. On one side, the snake. Flexible, fast, mysterious, a predator relying on cunning, venom, and the element of surprise. On the other, the rhinoceros, a fortress of flesh and bone with tons of brute strength, natural armor, and a horn that's basically a living spear. Two completely different worlds, but united in this imaginary duel that sparks curiosity. Who would really win? The snake, depending on the species, can wield deadly weapons. If we're talking about a viper or a cobra, venom is its ace card, neurotoxic or hemotoxic, capable of paralyzing muscles or destroying tissue. Plus, the snake's long body allows for quick, evasive strikes, staying out of most predators' reach. Some are ambush masters, attacking with surgical precision, always aiming for the enemy's most vulnerable areas. Against smaller animals, that's a death sentence in minutes. But then comes the rhinoceros. We're talking about an animal that can weigh over 2 tons, covered by skin up to 5 centimeters thick in certain areas. Tough even for the fangs of big cats. Its strength is absurd. With a single head movement, it can toss a grown lion into the air. And when threatened, it doesn't hesitate. It lowers its head and charges like a fury-powered tank on legs. Contrary to what many think, rhinos aren't that slow either. They can reach up to 50 km/h in a sprint. Now imagine standing in front of that. There's not much you could do. Here's the big question. Could snake venom, in theory, incapacitate the rhinoceros? The answer, highly unlikely. The rhino's massive body dilutes small amounts of toxin, and its thick skin protects vital spots. Even if a snake did manage to bite, the time needed for venom to take effect would be far too long, and the rhino wouldn't give it that time. One stomp from its massive legs or a well-placed horn strike would turn the serpent into nothing more than a memory. While the snake shines in battles against agile, mid-sized foes, the rhinoceros is simply out of its league. Resistant, powerful, relentless. In direct combat, the balance tips completely toward the African giant, and the winner is the rhinoceros. Strength, endurance, and sheer size put the snake at a total disadvantage. Here, no venom, speed, or technique could overcome the wall of muscle and fury that is the rhino. Now tell me, would you bet on a snake against a rhinoceros? Only in a game of hide and seek, because in a fight, the poor serpent would just be a squashed appetizer along the way. Number 13, snake versus young elephant. Picture an unlikely scene, a snake and a young elephant face to face. Two animals that, at first glance, seem to come from totally different worlds of combat. But when we think in terms of strength, endurance, and natural abilities, an interesting comparison emerges. The snake, depending on the species, can be a feared predator. If it's a python or anaconda, we're talking about muscles working like steel cables, able to wrap around huge prey and crush every last breath. If it's a venomous species, then its weapon is venom, capable of paralyzing or even killing a large animal with a single well-placed bite. The snake is patient, stealthy, and strategic. Its body is built for ambush. Strike fast, strike precisely, then wait for venom or constriction to do the job. It's the kind of fighter that avoids direct confrontation, preferring cunning, poison, or surprise. Now, on the other side stands a young elephant, not the full-grown giant of 6 tons, but still carrying a body that easily surpasses 1 ton, practically a walking wall. Elephant skin is thick, resistant to bites, claws, even insect stings. A snake bite, especially on less vulnerable areas, often can't even reach a vein effectively. Plus, even as a youngster, the elephant has an incredibly strong trunk used for grasping objects and for striking opponents. And let's not forget the tusks. Small at this age, but already sharp defensive weapons. In terms of brute force, we're talking about an animal capable of toppling trees and crushing a predator with a single step. Another key factor, intelligence. Elephants are among the most intelligent animals on the planet, with excellent memory and highly developed social behavior. Even young, an elephant quickly learns to recognize threats and defend itself. If it's with the herd, the snake's chances drop even further because the group acts as a protective shield. But let's be fair, snakes aren't foolish either. If one managed to bite a sensitive spot, for example the trunk, the ear, or even the eyes, it could cause pain and serious complications. The problem is, getting close enough to a tall, alert animal is nearly impossible. And even if it succeeded, the elephant's physiology allows it to withstand doses of venom lethal to many other animals. It's like trying to take down a fortress with a needle. In the end, the result is clear. The young elephant is the stronger in this matchup. It has size, weight, protective skin, and brute force to turn any attack attempt into almost nothing. The snake relies on surprise, but against such a resilient giant, that surprise quickly turns into despair. And now I ask you, watching this analysis, if you had to choose a defense partner to walk by your side in the savannah, would you prefer the snake, agile, sneaky, venomous, or the young elephant, a 4-legged armored tank? Come on, deep down you already know the answer lies in trumpeting, not hissing. Number 12, snake versus lion. Picture the scene. On one side, the snake. Flexible, patient, a living thread of muscle coiled with pure precision. It doesn't need size to inspire fear. Venom alone is enough. Or that lightning-fast strike, nearly invisible, that can decide everything in seconds. Its fangs inject toxins that can paralyze and even bring down animals much larger than itself. A silent predator, specialized in exploiting any opening. Its strategy is clear. Wait, strike in a fraction of a second, and retreat. It is the master of the ambush. On the other side, the lion. The majesty of the mane, the weight that can surpass 190 kilos, claws sharp as daggers, and a bite strong enough to crush bones. It's not just brute force, it's also technique. The lion knows how to use its body, how to measure distance, and above all, it carries the confidence of one who has reigned for millennia as the king of the jungle. When the lion charges, it's like an avalanche of muscle and power. Even its roar intimidates. And let's be honest, the fear of venom is nothing compared to the visceral terror of hearing that sound up close. But think about it, the snake, agile and nearly untouchable, might find an opening. A strike to the lion's face or paw could be fatal. Venom acts fast, and strength means nothing when the body starts to fail. But for that, the snake has to get close and land the bite without being crushed. And here's the problem, lions have feline reflexes, literally, capable of taking down prey faster than snakes. One leap, one well-aimed paw swipe, and the fragile serpent's body is nothing but a memory. Brute force versus venom, speed versus reflexes, strategy versus sheer domination. In the end, in a direct confrontation, who wins? The answer is clear, the lion. Its size, resilience, and crushing strength outweigh the snake's slim chance of landing venom. And now I ask you, if you had to pick an ally to defend you in the wild, would you go for the silent venomous snake or the lion, the absolute ruler of strength? Hurry and decide, but be careful, because if you take too long, you might just hear a hiss behind your chair or a roar right next to your ear. Number 11, snake versus tiger. Imagine the encounter between two symbols of nature's power, the snake and the tiger. A duel that pits cunning and venom against muscle, claws, and fangs. Let's break it down, remembering this isn't about staging a fight, but understanding which one holds the greater advantage if their worlds collided. The snake. Depending on the species, a snake may carry lethal weapons. A king cobra, for example, is the largest venomous snake in the world, and its venom is so potent it could kill even a young elephant within hours. But venom isn't its only card. Constrictors like anacondas or pythons rely on crushing force, squeezing their victims slowly until every breath is gone. Agility and stealth are also trademarks. The snake hides, camouflages, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. A swift move, almost invisible to the human eye, and the bite lands in fractions of a second. It's the embodiment of surprise. If the enemy drops its guard, it may already be too late. The tiger. The tiger, meanwhile, is pure physical explosion, the largest of all cats, weighing up to 300 kilos of muscle and bone built for combat. Stealthy, but unlike the snake, it doesn't depend on venom. Its body is a predatory machine, razor-sharp claws, fangs that slice through flesh like butter, and a bite delivering nearly 500 kilos of force. Despite its size, agility is no weakness. Tigers can leap over 10 meters in a single bound and sprint short distances at impressive speeds. Add to that a predator's intelligence, reading prey, choosing the perfect angle, and striking with precision. In a claw versus scale showdown, the tiger has a huge edge, physical endurance. While the snake relies on a single decisive strike, the tiger can miss, retreat, and attack again, keeping pressure until the snake runs out of chances. Who's stronger? The balance is intriguing. The snake has surprise and venom on its side, but venom takes time to work, or in Constrictor's case, time to fully wrap around. The tiger, however, needs just one clean strike. A paw swipe can break bones, a bite to the snake's body can end the fight instantly. Face to face with no ambush, the advantage is clearly the tiger's. Its strength, speed, and resilience outweigh the snake's fleeting chance. And you, what do you think? Would you root for the snake's silent cunning, betting everything on one fatal move, or for the tiger's brute majesty, dominating with sheer presence? Think carefully, because if the snake is strategy, the tiger is absolute power. Which one do you carry inside you? Number 10, snake versus leopard. Imagine the clash between two respected predators. The snake, a cold, calculating reptile armed with venom, and the leopard, an agile, cunning feline with impressive strength. This isn't just a fight, it's a duel between two philosophies of nature. The quick, silent strike of venom versus the explosive speed and brutality of a big cat. On one side, the snake, silent, patient, nearly invisible in its environment. Its main weapon, venom, powerful enough to bring down animals far larger. With razor-sharp fangs and a strike that can land in less than half a second, this reptile doesn't play around. Snakes can attack multiple times too, insisting until prey succumbs. Flexibility is another advantage, coiling, restraining, suffocating, and delivering the final venomous bite. On the other side, the leopard, the very definition of lethal elegance. Combining powerful muscles with feline reflexes, it can sprint over 58 km/h in short bursts, leap 6 meters in one bound, and most impressively, wield jaw jaws and claws as natural weapons. Its canines pierce bone, and its paws act like sharp hammers. The leopard is also a refined hunter, calculating distances, predicting movements, and striking from perfect angles. Comparison: attack speed. The snake wins in the short strike, but the leopard dominates broader movement and evasion. Brute force. The leopard is vastly superior, with muscles subduing prey far larger than itself. Endurance. The snake can wait endlessly for its moment, but in direct combat, its body is fragile against claws and bites. Lethal weapon. The snake's venom is its only true hope. A single hit could decide everything, but landing it on such an agile predator is no easy task. The verdict: despite the snake's lethal weapon, the leopard is more versatile, more resistant, and has more room for error. While the snake needs one perfect strike to win, the leopard can attack again and again with overwhelming force. Statistically, the cat comes out on top. So the winner, the leopard. The snake may inspire fear, but the leopard is the full package of strength, speed, and strategy. And now tell me, if you were walking a jungle trail and saw a snake on one side and a leopard on the other, which way would you run? Or better yet, would you even run at all? Or would you already be out of breath just imagining the scene? Number 9. Snake versus jaguar. Picture a humid rainforest at night filled with wild sounds where two predators meet in a primal duel. The snake, master of silence and patience, against the jaguar, the most powerful cat of the Americas. Each brings an arsenal of natural weapons to the showdown, and it's up to us to decide who comes out on top. The snake is the very symbol of cunning. Depending on the species, it could be a constrictor like the anaconda or a venomous viper. Constrictors win with crushing strength. Muscles coil around victims like a vice, tightening with every breath until the air is gone. Picture a creature capable of suffocating a crocodile. It's been done. Snakes don't run or chase. They win with patience and inevitability. Venomous species, on the other hand, play the chemistry card. One bite can paralyze or kill, disabling blood or attacking the nervous system. Against an unwary predator, this is a deadly trump card. Now, on the other side, the jaguar. Among all big cats, it's a true war tank. Compact, muscular, and agile. It hunts on land, in trees, and even in water. But what really sets it apart is its bite, proportionally the strongest of any big cat. While lions and tigers crush throats, the jaguar pierces skulls, driving its teeth straight into the brain. To give you an idea, it can bite through a turtle's shell with ease. Add its legendary stealth, moving silently through the forest until it lands a lightning-fast, lethal strike. So who wins? The snake could try a quick strike, either coiling around or landing a venomous bite, but the jaguar is specialized in hunting reptiles, even anacondas and crocodiles. It knows the snake's moves, is agile enough to dodge, and powerful enough to crush the reptile's skull before it reacts. Against venomous snakes, there's a theoretical chance of victory through a bite, but realistically, the jaguar's speed and precision make that unlikely. Against a constrictor, the battle is more physical, but the jaguar's bone-crushing bite and ability to target vital points give it overwhelming advantage. The verdict: the jaguar wins. It is literally a snake hunter by nature. The serpent may scare, it may threaten, but in direct combat, the Queen of the Americas shows no hesitation in proving who's boss. And you, if you were hiking through the rainforest and suddenly saw a snake on one side and a jaguar on the other, who would you cheer for? Or better yet, who would you run from first? Because one thing's certain, it's safest to cheer from far, far away. Number 9. Snake versus jaguar. Picture a humid rainforest at night filled with wild sounds where two predators meet in a primal duel. The snake, master of silence and patience, against the jaguar, the most powerful cat of the Americas. Each brings an arsenal of natural weapons to the showdown, and it's up to us to decide who comes out on top. The snake is the very symbol of cunning. Depending on the species, it could be a constrictor like the anaconda or a venomous viper. Constrictors win with crushing strength. Muscles coil around victims like a vice, tightening with every breath until the air is gone. Picture a creature capable of suffocating a crocodile. It's been done. Snakes don't run or chase. They win with patience and inevitability. Venomous species, on the other hand, play the chemistry card. One bite can paralyze or kill, disabling blood or attacking the nervous system. Against an unwary predator, this is a deadly trump card. Now, on the other side, the jaguar. Among all big cats, it's a true war tank. Compact, muscular, and agile. It hunts on land, in trees, and even in water. But what really sets it apart is its bite, proportionally the strongest of any big cat. While lions and tigers crush throats, the jaguar pierces skulls, driving its teeth straight into the brain. To give you an idea, it can bite through a turtle's shell with ease. Add its legendary stealth, moving silently through the forest until it lands a lightning-fast, lethal strike. So who wins? The snake could try a quick strike, either coiling around or landing a venomous bite, but the jaguar is specialized in hunting reptiles, even anacondas and crocodiles. It knows the snake's moves, is agile enough to dodge, and powerful enough to crush the reptile's skull before it reacts. Against venomous snakes, there's a theoretical chance of victory through a bite, but realistically, the jaguar's speed and precision make that unlikely. Against a constrictor, the battle is more physical, but the jaguar's bone-crushing bite and ability to target vital points give it overwhelming advantage. The verdict: the jaguar wins. It is literally a snake hunter by nature. The serpent may scare, it may threaten, but in direct combat, the Queen of the Americas shows no hesitation in proving who's boss. And you, if you were hiking through the rainforest and suddenly saw a snake on one side and a jaguar on the other, who would you cheer for? Or better yet, who would you run from first? Because one thing's certain, it's safest to cheer from far, far away. Number 8. Snake versus giant otter. Imagine yourself facing an unlikely encounter in nature. On one side, the sinuous cunning of the snake, master of patience, silence, and lightning-fast strikes. On the other, the giant otter, a surprising creature that combines intelligence, aquatic agility, and, above all, an almost unbeatable group spirit. Let's break it down, because to understand who would truly have the advantage in a hypothetical confrontation, we need to dive deep into the traits of each one. The snake's power. The snake is a specialized predator. Depending on the species, it may be a constrictor, like the anaconda or python, which uses its impressive muscles to coil around its prey and slowly suffocate it, or a venomous one, like the cobra or rattlesnake, capable of injecting lethal toxins in a fraction of a second. It doesn't need long-distance speed, only explosive action at the right moment. It is stealthy, practically a crawling ghost. Its body is a complete weapon, muscles to crush, fangs to pierce, and venom to paralyze. On top of that, its endurance is remarkable. A snake can go long periods without eating, but when it strikes, it's to finish the fight instantly. On land, especially in closed and dry environments, the snake is nearly unbeatable in terms of ambush and attack technique. Its biggest weakness? Outside solid ground, its mobility drops drastically, and in aquatic environments, it becomes far less efficient against water-adapted opponents. The giant otter's power. Now let's look at the star of the Amazon River, the giant otter. Don't be fooled by its curious look or the funny sounds it makes. We're talking about a highly intelligent predator, social and coordinated. The giant otter is fast and agile in the water, reaching up to 2 meters, 6.5 feet in length. Its teeth are sharp like those of a wolf, perfect for cutting flesh and piercing the thick skin of large fish such as piranhas or even arapaima. Its quick thinking is a big advantage. Unlike the snake, which acts alone and instinctively, the otter relies on strategy, cooperation, and communication. When hunting in groups, they are often compared to the wolves of the rivers. Another detail, they're not afraid to face large prey or even bigger threats. There are recorded cases of giant otters driving away caimans and even anacondas from the water. Their muscular bodies, adapted for swimming, give them an edge in aquatic battles. And let's not forget their legendary courage. They will attack even under great risk, especially when defending territory or pups. Direct comparison: raw strength. A constrictor snake has an overwhelming advantage on land, able to suffocate animals larger than the otter. Lethal weapon. If venomous, a quick strike can decide everything in seconds. Aquatic mobility. The otter completely dominates in water, where the snake is vulnerable. Intelligence and cooperation. The otter wins here. It thinks, plans, and acts in coordination, unlike the snake, which relies solely on instinct and reflexes. Courage and toughness. Both are resilient and relentless, but the otter's boldness gives it the edge, and the winner is, in a hypothetical duel, considering nature and territories, the giant otter comes out on top, not just because of its powerful bite or size, but because of its unique combination of agility, intelligence, and aquatic dominance. A snake can be deadly, yes, but in the otter's watery kingdom, its chances shrink considerably. Plus, this social mammal is capable of taking on even massive snakes when necessary. And now, let's be honest, Did you ever imagine that the cute giant otter could outmatch the feared snake? That's nature for you. It loves to surprise us. While the snake is the silent assassin, the otter is the noisy warrior, unafraid of facing giants. So tell me, if you were in an Amazon river and saw a snake on one side and a group of giant otters on the other, who would you bet on? Personally, I wouldn't hesitate. Number 7, snake versus ostrich. Picture this scene. On one side, a snake, master of silence, reptilian, patient like few predators. On the other, the ostrich, the largest bird on the planet, equipped with legs that look like biological springs, designed both for escape and for combat. Two completely different worlds collide, and the comparison becomes a spectacle of contrasts. The snake's main weapon is discretion. It doesn't need to announce its arrival. It's almost invisible in the environment, sliding noiselessly, using every detail of the terrain for camouflage. When it decides to act, it wastes no time. A quick, precise strike that can paralyze or even kill, depending on the species. Its flexible body is also its strength. It coils, constricts, crushes. Few creatures escape its lethal grip, and when venom comes into play, the danger rises even higher. One bite can decide the enemy's fate. Now look at the ostrich. It may seem clumsy, but reality is very different. This bird runs at over 70 km/h, 43 mph, a speed worthy of a car on the road. Its legs aren't just made for running. Each kick has the force of a hammer blow, capable of breaking bones or puncturing a predator's body. And it's not just about strength, it's precision too. The ostrich knows how to aim, defend itself, and won't hesitate to use its sharp claws to keep threats at bay. Add to that its sheer size, up to 2.5 meters, 8 feet tall, and it already commands respect. The snake's weak point against the ostrich is in applying its weapons. A precise strike? Hard, since the ostrich has panoramic vision and impressive reflexes. A constricting grip? Unlikely. How do you coil around something that's all motion and explosive leg power? On the flip side, the ostrich also has its limits. Though strong, it doesn't have arms or a hooked beak to grab with. It relies almost entirely on its legs. If it misfires a kick and gets bitten, the story could change. But when we analyze coolness under pressure, resilience, and ability to neutralize an opponent, the favorite is clear. The ostrich has reach, size, and power to turn the snake into little more than an annoying obstacle in its path. Its strength isn't just brute, it's also strategic. It knows how to keep distance and strike when needed. So the champion here is the ostrich. The feathered giant makes it clear that when it comes to surviving a snake encounter, size and steel-like legs make all the difference. And now I ask you, in the ostrich's place, would you have the guts to face a snake head-on? Or would you rather run like there's no tomorrow? Be honest. Because between us, I think most people would sprint away. Number 6, snake versus hawk. Imagine the clash between two masters of survival, the snake, silent, patient, deadly, and the hawk, agile, fast, and ruler of the skies. It's almost like watching two universes collide, the art of the creeping strike against fury from above. The snake carries a respectable arsenal. Depending on the species, it may be venomous, with fangs ready to inject toxins that paralyze within minutes, or a constrictor, with muscles capable of crushing bones. Its flexible body is a multifunctional weapon. It coils, grips, suffocates. Add to that its perfect camouflage. Among dry leaves or in the shade of rocks, it disappears like part of the scenery. Patience is its greatest virtue, waiting for the right moment, motionless, until the enemy comes too close. On the other side, the hawk is a true feathered missile. Its wide wings allow quick maneuvers, high-speed dives, and precise strikes. With sharp talons that act like natural daggers, it can seize and pierce prey in seconds. And let's not forget its vision. A hawk can spot details from hundreds of meters away, detecting even the smallest snake movements on the ground. If the snake's advantage is camouflage, the hawk answers with anticipation, scanning the world from above like a living radar. But the battle isn't as simple as it seems. If the hawk misses its first strike and gets too close, the snake may counter with a venomous bite, fatal in a split second. One moment of distraction could flip the game. On the other hand, if the hawk uses its aerial advantage, it rarely barely gives that chance. Its dive speed, combined with precise talons, allows it to grab and lift the snake before it even reacts. And once airborne, the snake is doomed. Whether venomous or strong, without the ground, it can't use its power. In summary, the snake is dangerous, cunning, and deadly in its domain, but the hawk is fast, lethal, and strikes from an angle the snake almost never defends against. The crucial difference lies in reach. The snake relies on the enemy approaching. The hawk decides when and how the battle happens. That tips the balance toward the bird of prey. The winner, the hawk. Its speed, vision, and aerial dominance make the snake, no matter how dangerous, a vulnerable prey to its sharp talons. And now tell me, if you could choose one ability to face your own daily challenges, would you prefer the snake's patience and venom, or the hawk's sharp vision and speed? Who knows, you might carry a bit of both inside you. Number 5. Snake versus owl. Snake versus owl. Who reigns in the darkness? The snake is the symbol of predatory silence. Cold, patient, calculating, it can wait for hours, motionless, only its tongue testing the air until its prey makes a mistake. Its body is pure elasticity, muscles coiled and ready to strike. In a fraction of a second, the attack is launched. Fast as a whip, precise as an arrow. If it's a venomous species, the fight becomes even deadlier. Just one bite injects a lethal cocktail that paralyzes, destroys tissues, and steals the life of its opponent. If it's a constrictor, the strategy changes. The body becomes a squeezing machine, wrapping the victim until its last breath escapes. Whatever the style, the snake embodies patient lethality. On the other side, we have the owl, the true lady of the night. Unlike the snake, which needs proximity to strike, the owl dominates both the sky and the darkness. Its flight is absolutely silent, almost supernatural. While other birds flap audibly, the owl glides like a ghost. Its enormous eyes capture every movement, even in total darkness. And when it dives, its sharp talons close like living daggers. Its grip strength can hold and immobilize small prey in an instant. For a slow-moving snake on the ground, facing an aerial predator with near-perfect night vision is a nightmare. In terms of attack speed, the snake has the advantage. Its strike is instant and unpredictable, but in surprise, the owl is the absolute queen. It simply appears silently, as if the air itself materialized a feathered assassin. Regarding weapons, the snake relies on venom or constriction. The owl uses talons and beak. Crucially, while the snake needs direct contact, the owl attacks from above, choosing the perfect angle. This greatly reduces the chances of the snake counterattacking effectively. The winner. Despite the snake's lethal reputation, the owl comes out on top. Its silent flight, keen vision, and aerial attack give it the decisive advantage. For the snake, the sky is an unreachable territory, and when a predator flies unheard, even the fastest strike in the world seems too slow. Now imagine yourself in the dark, alone, listening only to the heavy silence of the night. What would give you more chills, feeling a snake brushing your feet, or realizing too late that two yellow eyes are watching you from above? Number 4. Snake versus porcupine. Picture the scene. On one side, the snake, silent, sinuous, its flexible body like a living whip. Whether it's a rattlesnake, boa, or cobra, the snake team always combines speed, constriction, and, in many species, venom. Its muscles work like steel ropes wrapping prey, and its bite, depending on the species, injects toxins that can paralyze in minutes. The snake is patient, waits, and strikes at the right moment. For it, a minimal opening is enough. One careless move, and the strike lands like a snap. The snake relies on precision strategy because in the wild, energy is survival. On the other side is the porcupine. Don't be fooled. Despite its cute and clumsy appearance, it carries one of the most feared defensive weapons in nature. Up to 30,000 quills, keratin-coated, sharp as needles, ready to detach at the slightest contact. When a predator dares to bite or strike, it ends up with a mouth, paws, or eyes full of painful quills that can get infected and even be fatal. Unlike the snake, the porcupine doesn't need spectacular attacks. It plays the patience and self-preservation game. Just curl up, inflate the quills, and let the enemy learn a very painful lesson. So how would the encounter play out? The snake tries to approach silently and confidently. A well-placed strike could pierce the rodent's skin, but the problem? The snake would inevitably collide with dozens of quills if it tries to coil, constrict, or bite. No matter the angle, the outcome is the same. Mouth, body, and even eyes of the snake would get impacted. impaled. Unlike bigger predators like big cats, the snake has no claws or paws to fend off the porcupine. It relies entirely on direct contact. That contact would be its sentence. The porcupine, in contrast, has no rush. It knows the snake depends on surprise, and keeping its defense firm turns it into a walking fortress. The snake, if it insists, ends up harming itself more and more until it can no longer fight. Venom might work in some cases, but the pain, infection risk, and embedded quills are too high a price. The winner, the porcupine, thanks to its simple yet highly effective strategy, being nearly untouchable. And dear viewer, if you ever thought the snake reigned supreme among predators, you now know that even it has an unlikely opponent. The porcupine, with its living needle arsenal, is the true champion. And between us, if you were the snake, would you dare strike or watch from a safe distance, hoping not to get a prickly hug? Number 3. Snake versus horned goat. Now imagine an unlikely duel. Snake versus horned goat. Two creatures from different worlds, each with unique weapons. One represents creeping cunning, the other is pure brute force in a charging form. Who comes out on top? The snake arrives, gliding silently, almost invisible. Its main weapon is venom, a chemical cocktail capable of paralyzing muscles, destroying tissues, and even stopping breathing in careless prey. The attack is fast, a strike that happens in less than a second. Moreover, the snake has absolute flexibility. It can coil, grip, and bite repeatedly. No legs, no horns, but something many predators envy: infinite patience. It doesn't need to chase. It waits for the perfect moment. A predator that uses calm itself as a war strategy. On the other side, the horned goat. Unlike the snake's venomous delicacy, the goat relies on direct brutality. Its horns are natural weapons designed to push, pierce, and crush. In fights between males, their impacts echo through valleys. The goat also has strong legs, capable of powerful kicks that can throw a medium-sized predator to the ground. Its skin is thicker in certain areas, especially neck and head, areas that receive the brunt of impacts during fights. It's resilient, fast on rough terrain, and has what the snake lacks: fearless charging ability. In a hypothetical encounter, the snake's strike is precise, but it needs to find a vulnerable spot to inject venom, typically legs, muzzle, or belly. The goat, meanwhile, doesn't wait. It charges with lowered horns, ready to fling the enemy away. If the snake coils on its body, the goat can try to rub against rocks, jump, and even crush it against the ground. But if the bite hits the right spot, the venom works in minutes. It's the classic battle between technique and strength. The winner, the horned goat. Its aggression and charging ability make it very difficult for the snake to find space to strike successfully. Even if it bites, the goat's physical resistance gives it time to react before the venom takes effect. The snake depends on the precision of a single attack, while the goat has multiple ways to inflict damage. It's the difference between a surgical strike and a sequence of hammer blows. And you, viewer, can you imagine being that goat, facing life's daily problems with horns at the ready, headbutting whatever appears? Or are you more like the snake, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? Think carefully, because in the end, we all carry a bit of goat and a bit of snake inside us. Number 2. Snake versus giant tortoise. Imagine an unlikely encounter. On one side, the snake, master of cunning, venom, and speed. On the other, the giant tortoise, a living fortress, a tank of nature carrying centuries of evolution in every plate of its shell. Who would come out on top in this duel of vastly different styles? The snake enters with its greatest weapon, discreet lethality. Many species have fangs loaded with venom, capable of paralyzing or killing within minutes. Even those without venom, like some constrictors, rely on overwhelming strength, coiling around their victim and suffocating it until there's no air left. Its flexible body allows rapid, silent, precise movements. In an open environment, it can strike by surprise, always aiming for vulnerable spots, eyes, neck, or extremities. The snake defines opportunistic, patient, and lethal attack. The giant tortoise plays a different game. It doesn't rely on speed or surprise attacks. Its advantage is far harder to overcome: pure endurance. Its shell can withstand tons of pressure, acting as an armored vault against bites, claws, or other attacks. For many predators, biting a giant tortoise is like trying to chew a rock, and despite its slow reputation, don't be fooled. The tortoise's bite is incredibly strong. Its horny beak functions like pliers, able to crush bones, tear flesh, and even remove chunks from an aggressor. If the snake dares to get too close, a single bite could end the encounter. Another key point is the tortoise's longevity and strategic calm. While the snake relies on a fast, efficient attack to win, the tortoise can simply retreat into its shell and wait. The snake's venom might affect some animals, but a giant tortoise? Chances are minimal, as the thick shell prevents access to vital spots, and even exposed areas are protected by tough skin. In the end, it's a duel between deadly agility and impenetrable defense. But when we lay the cards on the table, the result is clear. The snake, no matter how dangerous, cannot overcome the living wall that is the giant tortoise. Persist and it becomes lunch. Winner, giant tortoise. And now I ask you, would you dare bet on the snake against this armored fortress? Or are you already on the tortoise's side, sitting safely inside its shell, watching the snake futilely search for a weakness? Number 1. Snake versus elephant seal. Picture the scene. On one side, the agile, sinuous snake with muscles ready to squeeze, coil, and strangle any unfortunate prey. On the other, the elephant seal, a true wall of flesh, fat, and brute strength, a marine colossus that can weigh over 3 tons. Here, we're not just comparing two animals, we're comparing two completely different combat styles, two strategies from different worlds. And that's what makes this analysis so interesting. The snake relies on speed, surprise, and, depending on the species, venom. Its body is its weapon. Muscles like steel ropes, capable of wrapping and suffocating. Constrictors like pythons or anacondas grab and squeeze until the prey stops breathing. Venomous species like king cobras or rattlesnakes strike directly, injecting toxins capable of taking down much larger creatures. Its strengths are rapid, precise lethality combined with silent movement. Now consider the elephant seal. It lacks the snake's agility and finesse, but it comes with natural armor, a thick layer of blubber functioning almost like biological armor. Combined with colossal size, small attacks have virtually no effect. A snake bite may land, but piercing this living wall is nearly impossible. Additionally, the elephant seal is incredibly aggressive when provoked. Its long, pointed teeth can tear flesh easily, and its bite is comparable to that of large terrestrial predators. The impact from a single movement can crush bones effortlessly. Another factor is the environment. The snake reigns on land, but the elephant seal dominates the sea and coastal sands. Terrain matters greatly in combat. In water, the snake would stand little chance. Slow, vulnerable, with no space to coil. On sand, its weight and size still give it an advantage. One sharp movement could easily crush the serpent. Summary of strengths: snake. Speed, precision, constriction techniques, venom as potential weapon. Elephant seal, overwhelming size, incredible resistance, devastating bite and teeth, mastery of coastal environments. Winner, elephant seal. The snake, though deadly in many scenarios, cannot overcome a living wall of tons of flesh and natural weaponry. It's like comparing a sharp knife to a tank. The knife is dangerous, yes, but not against such a colossus. Now here's a question for you. If you were the snake, would you try to face this monster or run without looking back? Be honest. I'm pretty sure I know your choice. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Check out other interesting videos popping up on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one.